This morning I was reading a little bit more in Mark chapter 6, and it was talking about how people were wondering about Jesus, of who he really was, and that Herod, who had beheaded John the Baptist, believed that Jesus was John the Baptist resurrected, which really, I don't know how many ways that you can think that that doesn't make any sense, but it just shows you that what people think of us is really rooted in their own stuff, um, their own wounds, their own, uh, their own guilt, whatever it is. But it's rooted in them. If people have an opinion of us, oftentimes that is something that's coming from something completely within them that doesn't have anything to do with us, or very little, or certainly less than what we give value to it as. So it just got me thinking about how we tend to, oftentimes people, at least at some point in their life, go through periods of time where they are seeking someone's approval. And how important it is for us to get to a point where we realize that the only approval that we really need is God's and our own. We need to know that we are living up to our own values, and that our opinion of ourselves is good, that our opinion of our intentions and our efforts and whatnot is good. Jesus talked about how he does not seek the approval of human beings. He just seeks to do the will of the one who sent him, which is God the Father. So the other thing is too, is like a lot of times people become really self-conscious of, thinking about other people, that other people are thinking about them, looking at them, judging them, that kind of stuff. And the reality is that most of the time they're not thinking about anyone but themselves or their own thoughts about their lives. If people are looking outside of themselves to kind of judge others, it's probably because they also have their own self-consciousness and it's sort of a defense thing, or other reasons. But ultimately, all of the reasons are pretty much coming from within them. It has nothing to do with you. So the other thing is too, is that when people are stressed out, they will have a look on their face that can look threatening. And if we're stressed out, we also can perceive things as more threatening. So it's important to know that, because if somebody looks at you and has a funny look on their face, they probably are stressed out about something, and it probably has nothing to do with you. If somebody's not responding in a wonderful way, it usually will have something to do with the kind of day they're having, not so much about you necessarily. Not that that can never be so, but for the most part, it's coming from within them. And the other side of that is that if we are very stressed out, we might have a look on our face. So we might actually kind of unknowingly look at someone in such a way that it's some kind of fearful look that might be triggering to someone else to feel threatened. So if we're walking around feeling anxious and looking at people, oh, are they looking at me? Are they judging me? Whatever. We might actually look like we're judging them. So just to keep in mind how you're feeling, and that if you feel like you're triggering reactions in people around you, that might be why. You might be feeling so much anxiety that you're kind of shooting your anxiety out at people without knowing it, just like with the look on your face. So if you feel like you're really anxious and you're going into a situation and you think that could possibly be happening, you can just, try not to necessarily make direct eye contact with people while you're in that state, and try to, as much as possible when you're interacting people, have a little bit of a smile, and like bring in your, ask God to help you have charity towards others, a desire to think about how the other person is feeling. Think of how, just how you can be kind. And if you're thinking about how you can be kind and loving towards anyone that you need to interact with, it's going to relax you a little bit. And it's also going to open up a door for God to help you. I guess the most important thing to remember about approval seeking and, wanting to look good in other people's eyes is that we're not required to look good in other people's eyes. God does not ask us to look good in other people's eyes. Jesus was misjudged and lied about and betrayed and, you know, brutally tortured to death. And, not that that's going to happen to all of us, hopefully, but he was obedient unto death, and he accomplished what, a miracle. I mean, he accomplished the miracle of our salvation by his, life, death, and resurrection. And he does not ask us to be loved by men. And as a matter of fact, the great saints, talk about how it's really not beneficial to focus on that at all. The people who are not focused on God do not value the things that we value. So they're not valuing the right things. If we're being approved of by them, why? What are we sacrificing in order to be approved of by them? So, and in fact, like if you read Imitation of Christ by Thomas à Kempis, he really talks about this theme a lot, all the way through, about how there really isn't any real benefit in putting our trust in human beings in general, that we really need to put all of our trust in God, and that that human beings will let us down, and that's okay. And it's okay for us. It's okay for them not to like us or to think unwell of us, because the fact is, what they should be looking to glorify is God and not us. And it's good for us to be aware that we're not God. That we actually have a lot within us that needs work. And it's actually really okay to really face that and believe that and know that and ask God to help you with it, and know that he loves you anyway. He totally loves you anyway. He created you, and this life, the growth that we have in this life is a process. And anyways, so I hope you have a great day. I'm going to end it right there. And, God bless. And just remember, it's between you and God, whatever it is in your life. If God approves, you're good. All right? So have a great day, and God bless.